You're listening to Good Morning Albany, a motivational podcast to get your wheels turning. You're here with Shalene Love, a very sought-after wedding and portrait photographer. I'll be sitting down with creatives to discuss their process, their experience, and how to make a difference. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. We have Kierra Jones of Kierra International. I don't want to mess it up. You know what I mean? So tell the people, what is it exactly that you do?
Okay. Well, first off, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
My name is Kierra Jones. I'm the owner of Kierra Jones International. So we are a coaching brand, an international coaching brand. So I do business consulting and mindset coaching for primarily women who own service-based businesses. So people ask me, well, what exactly is a service-based business? So a service-based business is where you are taking your knowledge, your skills, your years of experience, and you are packaging that into services that that clients come in and pay for, whether the client is just a consumer, whether it's an organization or a corporate account. But these are clients who are hiring you for your expertise in your service. So I work with women who are financial coaches, health coaches, stylist consultants, business consultants, marketing. Like, I could go on and on, but just so many different industries they work in. But the point is, they have had years of experience that they're like, I don't want to give this away anymore for free or for, a little bit of money here and there. I want to create a real coaching or consulting business from this. And so we kind of help them establish that. And we kind of work in different phases. So for the woman who is just starting out and she wants to figure out how to package that, how to price it, how to start marketing herself, all the way to the woman who has already started, which is actually where I love working, women who have already started and now they're looking at, okay, so how can I increase my prices? How can I amplify my value? How can I reposition myself in the marketplace to get more clients or higher paying clients or just grow my business? And so we are basically helping them monetize their expertise even more.
All right. I'm a self-taught photographer.
Yeah.
So I started out, I had to figure out how to take a decent picture. Mm-hmm. Now I'm at a place where I can take an okay picture.
Now you're doing the bomb.
Yeah. I can take a decent picture, yeah. But on the flip side of that is a business. Mm-hmm. So I want the people to know you may have a product, you may have a service that's great, that's A1. You have to learn that side, and then you have to learn the business.
Yes.
And I see that's where you coming at.
Absolutely. Oh my God, you just said so much. People don't understand that. They come to me like, Kierra, I'm really good at this thing. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But there's other things we have to think about. Who are you targeting? Who is that person? And not just the basic, people, I'm so done with people Googling how to find my ideal client. And it's like, this is people come and tell me, well, she's this age and she wears this and she makes this money at work. I don't really care about any of that. And we were talking about this before of just there is this emotional level that you have to get to your clients. And so nowadays, when you look at social media, when you look at video, people want to see themselves in what you're talking about. When I see myself in whatever issue that you help solve, and I'm like, dang, I'm having that issue, and you are positioning yourself as an expert that can come and do that for me, then I'm going to go and say, hey, I want to inquire about your services. Can I hire you? And so who you're targeting, what you do for them, being able to clearly articulate that. And then just not only that, but also building the programs and the packages or the services for it and properly pricing it so that you are able to cover expenses, taxes, but also to pay yourself. Because a lot of small businesses, they don't pay themselves. And then the other list of things that you need to be able to finance. So yes, there's a ton of the business side of things that has to happen, but it can't happen if you can't articulate the basic things. This is who I serve. This is what I do for them. This is why the heck they pay me.
Yeah.
And so I love helping my clients really just focus on how do I better position that in my messaging and my marketing and my sales.
I mean, that's perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So how did you get started in business consulting?
Yeah. So actually, it goes back to my corporate career. So I went to college, JMU in Virginia. And so I studied business and then also hospitality and tourism management because I thought I was going to be this huge manager of hotels. And so I worked with Marriott. I worked with Hershey because Hershey also owns a hotel, if you don't know, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, in a Hershey Lodge too. And so I was in the hospitality industry in all different capacities. And I love connecting with people. So that's why I got into the industry. But I felt like there was something missing because I really love the business side of it. And so I went to a conference when I was about 18 years old that one of my organizations I was in college handled. And General Mills was there. And so, they just kind of talked to me about how the experience I had on the front end with clients and with customers was going to be something that they could use in a sector of their business that a lot of people don't know about. So everyone knows General Mills for Cheerios and Yoplait yogurt and all that. You go to the grocery store and you buy it. But what happens when you go to an amusement park, to a college, to a hospital, to school? You eat there too. So how does that food get there? And so I was working with clients who were in the hospitality industry but needed to buy our products and our solutions to bring into their businesses. And so that's kind of where it kind of started. I didn't know, though, like at that time, I was 19 when I started with 19 when I started with them. I didn't know I was consulting, but I knew that, I had 30 to 300 clients. So it got to the point where when I was in Georgia, so I covered all of Georgia and a part of South Carolina, and that was actually a $5 million territory for me that I was personally responsible for. And so little by little, I started realizing that, these client relationships and the consulting I'm doing with them, what if I did it for someone else? And, when I was, so like maybe 2013, I think it may have been, we had a reorganization in the company. And so I lost some mentors. And being a Black woman, some of those people let go were African-American. And that just didn't sit well with me because I just felt in that moment that, I'm not safe. Coming from single parent background, being raised in Newark, you have two options. You're going to go to school and get out the right way, or you're going to do something that's not, going to help you get out really. And so it was like, okay, my mother always pushed education, school, get a job. And so I was the first to graduate from college and the first to be in a corporate environment and have this salary and all these things. I had a company car, all this stuff. And so I felt safe for a couple of years from like 18 to like 24. I feel safe, right? But when we started having this reorganization, I was like, oh my God, wait, they could take this away from me. Like, I didn't get let go during those reorgs, but it was a red flag of like, this is not yours. And so I started just kind of saying, well, how could I take this skill set and use it in a different capacity and actually do something I care about even more? And then I didn't start like this immediately, right? I started in different things. And as I learned more about the online world, then I started seeing like, oh my goodness, like I can build businesses online. I can help other people build businesses online, expand their businesses online. And that's kind of how I got here. But definitely was the introduction to working with clients from my corporate background.
You have the corporate background. When did you decide I'm just going to leave this corporate job that's paying me X amount and I have the company car?
Yeah.
Like, how did you leave this safety net?
Yeah. So one, mindset, really. We were talking about mindset and belief. And so for me, I always encourage people to understand the background because I don't want anyone to have the impression of like, Kierra went one day to work and the other day to business, because that's not what happened. And I hate when leaders do that because I don't think it gives people the full picture so that they can understand this is actually a journey. So 2014 was when I started thinking of like, okay, so what could I do? And still didn't know what it was. I actually started an accessory brand online to just kind of get my feet wet, right? And so then in 2015, I got serious. I was like, okay, this could be a brand. So in 2015, when I got really, really serious, I started, looking at business coaches and mindset coaches and all that. But I really didn't pull the trigger until like 2016. So by then I had been in business like a year while working full time because I do not believe in just quitting your job if you have the ability not to. Just because I like, I said, I like steak, I like sushi, I like good things in life. And so financially, I was like, I don't want to do that yet. So I just wanted to kind of see, well, where do I want to go? And so 2016, though, there was like something in me that was like, okay, I got to get serious. And at that point, I was like, okay, maybe I'll leave in like 2 years. Like I really didn't have a full plan of leaving, but like a full exit strategy. But I was like, okay, maybe 2 years. But so from early 2016, fast forward to August 2016, I hired a mindset coach. And working with a mindset coach, it helps you get through your fears, your doubts, the things sometimes you don't even want to tell anybody in this world, so that you can understand, well, why am I holding on to this job? Why do I believe that I'm not worthy of more money, of getting paid what I want to get paid? Why do I believe that I'm not enough for these things? And so she really helped me work on that. And literally in 3 weeks, two changes happened. Within 3 weeks, I went from, okay, not 2 years, let's do it in 9 months, because I was like, okay, I want to save $10,000. Then I came back like a week, 2 weeks later, and I was like, you know what? I think I could do this. I'm going to do this in 2 months. Like, this is going to happen. And so that's how fast it just went once I started working through the mindset stuff that was holding me back. And then I hired a business coach like maybe a month or two after that. And then I just decided to go full time. So between August and October, I was like, okay, yep, it's going to be this 2 months. That's it. And so October 2016, I went full time. And, the thing I'll say is like, you just have to follow your heart. You just have to believe, you have to follow your heart. And the reality is you have to know that you are worth more. Like, why did I put this Fortune 500 company on a pedestal? Why did I think that Kierra only exists when she's with them, or Kierra is only as good when she's with them? Why not? I'm just as great in Kierra Jones International, if not better, because it's mine. I get to build my legacy. So I think you just have to go through like what's holding you back from doing it in the first place. Get real with yourself about what you need. I share all the time, like, because I don't mind sharing this part. For me, I had $20,000 when I did go full time in the bank. And so whatever that looks like for you, because I'm not telling anybody to go quit your jobs and then you can't afford stuff. So make sure you're financially set up for it, whatever that means for you, whatever number that is. So do look at that, but be okay with, you know what, this is enough for me and I'm going to follow my heart. Because like literally I mentally just could not anymore. I couldn't. Mm-hmm. And that's when I had the final straw. I was like, I just can't. And just everything aligned like it should have. And the doors just open. I was like, I'm done.
So for you to save and that was your number, that was great.
Yeah.
So we just want the listeners and the watchers to know, figure out your number. Because when you quit that job, it's going to get real.
Yes, it will.
It's going to get real. You know what I mean?
Can I add to that? Just for those who might be listening, just to give you a piece of advice. So I love what you just said. And that's what I was trying to show with, like, I didn't just quit. I spent 2014, 15 figuring things out. So please make sure that you are, if you're going to say, okay, I am going to be a stylist, or I'm going to be a photographer, or I'm going to be a business coach, or I'm going to be a life coach, whatever it is, whatever you decide to do, start building that business while you're full time. So one of the mindset shifts I made for myself, I don't know when I did this, like maybe 2015 or I think it was more so 16, but I literally looked at my corporate job as a silent investor. Mm-hmm. I literally journaled that. I was like, I got to go to this silent investor. And I just shift my mindset, because when you think about it as a job, you're like, oh my God, I got to go to my job. But when you're like, this is a silent investor for my business, Hannaford is a silent investor for my business, it changed my mindset for me. And so leverage that to say, well, I got to give my silent investor 8 hours today, but guess what? I'm going to wake up an hour early. I'm going to use my lunch period. And I'm going to, spend 2 hours in the evening time to build this business. So I think a lot of people, they wait until they quit to like start. Mm-hmm. And when I'm working with any of my clients that are full time, we make sure that, okay, hey, let's get, you in a space where you're bringing in at least 1 or 2 clients a month before you quit, so that when you leave your job, now you're just going to add to that, but you're not trying to figure things out. So just take the time to not only figure out your number, but get some things going first.
Perfect. So you quit your job. You're going full time with business consulting. How many clients did you have when you first quit?
So in October of 2016, when I decided to end my corporate career, I still don't even remember. I had 1 or 2. Or excuse me, I had 0 or 1. I can't even remember. So I can't remember when I signed my first client. I do remember like what I was doing. I ran around the house. But so my point is, like, it was very close. Like I didn't have a ton of clients before I quit, because I had my first business. So I had that business for like a year and a half. So I was full on in that business. And so that was like the financial, that was making more money than the consulting. So when I went full time in that, I said, okay, I'm going to bring in the consulting. Then I started getting clients in that. And so in October, I had like 1 or 2. And then within 90 days, I had probably a little bit less than 10. So once I went full time, I was able to ramp that up really quickly. And I actually got to the point where my first business was not the breadwinner. My coaching business became the breadwinner. And eventually I went just completely all into the coaching and kind of put the boutique to the side for a little bit. But yeah, so when I went full time, I didn't have a ton of clients, but I had invested in a business coach, and we were kind of getting those foundational things together. But thank God I had the K Jones collection to kind of use for some income before like coaching took off. But it took off in like 90 days. And I was like, whoa, way quicker than my boutique business. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you already have a business, right? You're already established. So I am not the coach who believes in like, oh, we're just going to try all this stuff because I want to show you how much stuff I know. I know people that do that. So I would first want to do a business assessment. So for me, I love looking at the business development part of like, what are your actual services? So we go through, what are you charging for each service? Who are you targeting for that service? How many are you selling? A lot of people don't realize that your focus, if you look at where you're focusing on versus what's bringing in the money, a lot of people are focusing on their bottom like programs. Does that make sense? So if I have a client who's charging $3,000 for a service versus she has a different service that's like $5,000, she's putting a lot of time and energy into the 3,000. Those aren't huge difference of numbers. Let me say 1,000 and 5,000. So she's putting a lot of energy into the $1,000 program, but the reality is the $5,000 program is where you should be focused. So we first want to focus on what's going to be the most profitable. But then also, because I care about the mindset, I'm going to ask you, hey, where do you love to work? Because I have clients who will have 10 different offers and they will hate like 7 of them, but they do it because they think that's where the money is, but they really love these over here. So I like to go to, what do you love working with more? And then what are the highest price points? Or do we need to tweak those price points? And so we just go all in on your signature services first. And the other stuff we can kind of wait on, like after we get those going. I rather make sure that we have clients coming into that first because that's your breadwinner. That's what brings home the bacon. And so we just kind of go through that. So we'll go through like the development of it, the prices, the structure, where you feel more aligned. If you don't feel aligned with a service, well, what can we tweak about it? I have a client where she had a service. It was $3,500. And literally, she hated how long it was. And I was like, well, why don't we just cut the program in half? Like, instead of you working with people for this long, just work with them this long for the same amount of money. And she's like, well, don't I have to cut the price? I said, no, you don't have to cut the price. Literally signed a client in that exact program a week later. So that's what we would focus on. It's like, where's the pricing? Where are we making the most money? What's the most profitable? And then I would dive into like, once we get those top 2 to 3 offers. So now let's look at the messaging. Who are you targeting? Are we targeting the right person? Are we targeting people who are looking for something for free and not really paying you, or they're like, missing out on their payments? Or are we targeting the right people we should be? And then because of the targeting, we'll look at, all right, now let's go to your messaging that you're putting out into your marketing. Let's go into your sales messaging and just make sure that we're really amplifying that offer and just work on the positioning of it so that as you already have clients coming in. So as clients come in, we're just taking them to a higher offer or offer that you love to sell a little bit more versus just taking them to the bottom offer. A lot of service-based businesses, what they'll do is they always try to go for the cheapest, right? So, I don't really know if this person is going to pay $5,000. So let me just sell the $1,000 thing. I'd rather not lose the $1,000. Well, guess what? My clients, we'd rather lose the $1,000 if we know that person should go into the $5,000. And you can't take it from a mindset standpoint of, this person isn't going to pay this, I'm not going to sell it. No, I believe in something. If you're one of my clients listening, you hear me say this all the time, top to bottom. So we're going to sell you top to bottom. I'm going to tell, and not only because it's the top price, but when you look at your signature offers, you love them. Like, I don't know, you don't have to say, but maybe let's say you have 2 offers. Like, you may have an offer that you love selling. Like, you love doing certain things versus one offer that you kind of take stuff out of it because you're trying to make the prices smaller. But you're like, oh, but I really love doing those things, but I'm trying to make it work for this person. Your energy is different. So you love selling this thing. Okay, so let's amp that up. Let's make sure we just focus on marketing that. And let's make sure we focus on getting people into that from a sales standpoint. So that's kind of the beginning of the process. And from there, it's just all targeting, messaging, marketing, sales, and then making sure on a daily basis your mindset is where it needs to be, because I believe in something I call energy enrollment. And so that's, you enroll clients, your energy calls in clients, right? So what you're really excited to sell, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, sign me up for that thing. I don't care how much it costs. Like, people will go and find a way. I had a client in December, like, kind of ghosted. She was like, oh, she was going into a $3,000 program. And I was like, okay, you want to sign up, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, I don't really know. And literally came back in January, like, I think she might have messaged me. I don't know if it was on the 1st or whatever, but I was out and I didn't get the message. And then I came in and I saw the message the next day and she was like, okay, I'm all in. And I'm like, okay, great. But if I was to go into desperation mode with her in December, like, oh, you don't want to sign up, you can't afford $3,000. Okay, well, I have this $7,500 program or $700 program. You can join this and blah, blah, blah. But I know from my heart, that's not what you need. You need this one. So I'm not just going to take your money because that's all you can afford. I'm going to give you what you really need. And then she came back and she said, okay, I'm ready. So, it's a balance between, like I said, that energy versus the strategic part too.
Okay. I like that.
I know that was a lot, but.
We need a lot. We need a lot. I just want to break down what you do so the listeners and the watchers can understand that you have your product, you have your service, but there is a business behind your product and your service. Don't think just because you start a t-shirt line, everyone's going to buy it. No, it's a marketing, advertising, sales, taxes. It's a lot behind that one t-shirt sale. Mm-hmm. So if you need some help, reach out. You know what I mean? She's primarily for women. I love that. I say this all the time. This is the best time to be a woman ever. You know what I mean? It's a lot going on for you guys. Yes, take full advantage of it. You know what I mean? Don't be scared to dive in the water. Dive in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If someone was starting a business today, mm-hmm. what would be some advice you would give them?
Oh, gosh. Okay, starting a business today. So I would say first, get really clear on why you're starting this business. Do not come into this business like, oh, I saw this person make this much money and I just want to make the money part of it. Just because that's not going to be the thing that you focus on up front. You're going to have a lot of stuff you need to do before you even start marketing. So you need to be really secure within yourself of like, this is what I know that I want to do. So I would say just know your why and be like let it inspire you so much for the tough times. The second thing I would say is, what is your business? So we were talking about just like the basic marketing. So what is the service or the product that you are focused on selling? Who is this product or service for? And why do they need it? Don't come to me with basics like, I'm going to help somebody lose weight. I'm going to help someone, grow a business. That's too general because you know what? There's 5,000 other people on Facebook and on Instagram saying that. Be really clear. I am going to help this person lose weight because I want to help them build their mindset around food. I want to help them not be on this up and down weight roller coaster, but I want to help you feel amazing in your jeans. Like get into that emotional part. Like, if there's a difference, like I always use this example, there's a difference if you're a health coach and or whatever you do, but you're like, I'm going to help women who are mothers with something versus I'm going to help people who are professionals. Because the reality is mothers are probably not losing weight because they want to look better at the office or anything like that. Mothers are losing weight because they want to look good for their husband. They want to have energy for those children. But if you use in your marketing if you're focusing on professionals and you're using in your marketing stuff about your children and looking good for your honey, that office woman she's going to be like, oh, scroll, because that doesn't talk to me. But if you're telling me, this is going to help you have more confidence when you're looking for that next promotion. This is going to help you show up better if you're a business owner in your videos or on stage or whatever. So just know who you're targeting because you will speak to them differently in your messaging and in your marketing. And that's going to be the foundation of your sales. Like, don't be trying to have sales conversations with people when you're not clear on what they need. People are always trying to sell a product. And it's like, you don't even know if, like, someone literally private messaged me about something and said if I wanted to buy it. And I said, do you know me? Do you know what I need? Have you asked me what I need? So be clear on those things before you start trying to sell. And if you do need help, do not be afraid to ask for help. It may not be me. It may not be me as a business consultant, but go follow someone. YouTube and Google is cool, but you need to have that customized access to somebody. So YouTube as much as you can, but be okay with asking for deeper help. The last thing I'll say from a mindset standpoint is please work on building your mindset every day. Mindset doesn't have to be journaling. It may be reading for you. It may be taking a run and listening to music. It could be listening to this podcast. It could be so many things. Look for something to help you expand your mind so that you can be more productive, so that you can be more alert within yourself. Because when you learn how to listen to yourself, how to trust yourself, how to think for yourself, you start getting the answers you need to in your business. Like when you're like, oh, I don't know if I should do this and this. Well, take a moment. Just ask yourself, what do you want to do? You don't have to do it the way somebody else does it. So build that mindset piece. And a part of building the mindset piece is build your shine board of directors. I talk about this in a checklist that I have, but your mindset, your board of directors is like the people that are going to push you, that want to see you shine. It may not always be your family and friends, and that is cool. It may be you paying for a group program or a mastermind or a membership so that you can find other people like you, like-minded people. But surround yourself with like-minded people that will also help you elevate your mindset.
I love it. Good. How can the people find you on social media?
Yeah, so you can always find me at Kierra Jones International on Facebook, on Instagram. My website is KierraJones.com. And I do have a free gift if I'm open to share it. If you want to go to freeuplevelchecklist.gr8.com, That's a free checklist where I kind of go through more about the Shine Board of Directors and some mindset stuff and just some lifestyle things that can help you up-level your mindset just to expand in life in general. Whether you're a business owner or not, it'll help you just kind of expand your mindset.
Give that website again.
So that's going to be free uplevelchecklist.gr8.com.
The number 8.
The number 8. gr8.com.
Okay. I just want the listeners to know.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
I've learned a lot in so little time.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, everybody.
I mean, you guys follow her. You guys make sure you get up, you get out, and you get you some. I don't got no outro. I'm out.